earlier I spoke about the need to be different and to not follow best practice. And I think Aēsop as a brand certainly doesn't follow best practice or follow the usual. And I think from an experience, just to give a very practical example, hands up, has anyone who's been in an Aēsop store? Loads of people, okay. If we followed what the customer said, and what, you know, and you'd research customers and be careful with what you ask customers as well, as just an aside. Be very careful with the questions you ask. But if we asked a customer what you would need in a store to buy skincare and beauty products, I would pretty much guarantee they'd say we want convenience, we want ease, we want control, we want everything organised, we want everything labelled, right? There'd be, and if you go into many pharmacy stores or even in your cosmetics departments of a department store, everything is very logical. You can see it, it's bright, it's labelled with, you know, you've got your skincare over here, your, you know, your shampoos over there. What happens when you go into an Aēsop store, right? First of all, it's dark. It's not bright. You can't actually read all the labels very clearly. You actually need help to read them because it's not easy, and if you're probably over 40, it gets harder and harder. It's very hard to distinguish between the products. You don't know what category you're in. It completely counters everything that I've just said, you know, that people would ask for, but it works. And it works on many layers because it's using humans in a store to speak to you. It's about connecting with somebody. It's about being greeted. It's about the scent that you smell when you probably down, you know, probably 5 meters outside the door. You can, you know, it's hitting a whole lot of cues for you. It calms you down. It doesn't rev you up, you know. Think about that with your brand. What's the signature you want to leave behind? Doing what customers say they want. Like if I'd asked a customer, I guarantee they're the standard things that you would do. And if you do what the customer says all the time and only think about that, you'll be just like everybody else. Yeah. So really think hard about it. And they're the experiences that are memorable, the ones that sort of, in my mind, I think about it as, you know, your brain remembers whether your expectations have been met or they haven't been met. Things that are memorable deviate from what naturally, you know, if things meet your expectation, you'll probably forget them, right? And sometimes I'm concerned about that when people talk about frictionless experiences or seamless experiences. They're good. They're good for some things, don't get me wrong. Like there's probably some utilities and things where that is really vital. You know, I don't want my banking to have friction in it, you know, I really don't. I'd get very upset. But friction actually creates connection. And so there are moments in your customer experience where you need the grit, because the grit is actually what creates something really special. So don't be afraid of that and be very, very careful about what questions you ask customers and use your head. You know, think about it. Don't take it verbatim. You know, in the advertising world, as another example, I can't tell you how many briefs. Everybody thinks that they're doing something or saying something different. You know, in the clients that I would see, they're all saying exactly the same thing because they're all asking exactly the same questions. And when you challenge that, they go, oh, no, but this is what the customer said. We're not going to get it wrong if we follow the research. Listen to the research, listen to your customer, but then use your head and think about where there are moments where you can create the right level of friction to create a moment that's memorable, because that's what you want. You want memorability. Only memorable brands grow, so it's really important.